Picture the scene. A teacher walks into the classroom and says, we need a fabulous front cover for our school magazine. Who here can draw well? And there are two artists in the classroom. One puts his hand up and one doesn't. The one who doesn't thinks to himself, how on earth can I put my hand up? Isn't that showing off? Isn't it arrogant? I can draw well. But the other one puts his hand up and says, yeah, I'm happy to help. We often confuse humility and false humility. Humility is really recognizing the talents you have are given to us by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we have to use them for a better purpose. In this week's Parshas, the Meraglim go into Eretz Yisrael. The Pasuk says, "V'anihi be'einenu kachagavim." We were like grasshoppers in their eyes. Rashi and the other Mefarshim ask, how on earth could they know what the Canaanim are thinking of them? Are they mind readers? How could they know that the Canaanites think they're like grasshoppers? Perhaps the answer is that the way you look at yourself is often the way others perceive you. If you have a poor self-esteem, you have no confidence, and you think you're like a grasshopper, that is how other people will perceive you. Two stories about Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, the great Paisik and Rosh Hashiva of the previous generation. Many times he was honored to be the sandik at a bris, and in Yerushalayim, the famous Moel Rabbi Yosela was on duty, was officiating, and he would call out to be the sandik, Hagon, Hagodl, Marina, Rav Rosh Hashiva, the Paisik Hadar, Shlomo Zalman Auerbach. And Shlomo Zalman was very uncomfortable with that. And he told him, just call me up, Shlomo Zalman Auerbach. But Rabbi Yosela wanted to honor him. And one time, after, again, him calling out with great honorifics, that evening he called up Yosela. And he says, it's Shlomo Zalman here. He said, Shlomo Zalman who? Shlomo Zalman Auerbach? Why do you, Rosh Hashiva? Yosela, listen carefully. I've told you many times, please just call me up. If I'm a sandik at a bris that you're performing as the moel, just call me up as Shlomo Zalman Auerbach finished. Don't call me up, and if you continue calling me up with all these grand titles, I will not officiate as a sandik when you are being the moel. Shlomo Zalman was a very modest person, he couldn't tolerate that. Contrast that with another story of Shlomo Zalman. There was a couple in Yerushalayim who had a special needs son. They investigated, there was a school that this son needed to go to, a special needs school. But the kid was refusing. They didn't know what to do. They went to Shlomo Zalman to ask advice. Shlomo Zalman said, leave it with me. He ascertained this was the right place for the young man, and he said, let me meet the young man. The young man came, he walked into the room. Shlomo Zalman was sitting there, and he said to the young man, do you know who I am? The young man had a sense from his parents who he was, but this is what Shlomo Zalman said. My name is Rabbi Shlomo Zalman Auerbach. I'm one of the leading rabbonim in the whole world. I am the Rosh Hashiva of Yeshiva Golker, one of the most prestigious yeshivas in Eretz Yisrael. I am the rabbi's rabbi. When rabbis are stuck on very hard questions, they come to me to ask guidance. And I have a special job for you. Wow. This guy said, what's the job? This young man said, I want you to be a mashgiach in a certain yeshiva, and I want you to be my eyes and ears and to check how the spiritual state of the affairs are over there. The guy thought, fantastic, and I want you to come and report back to me once a month, every Rosh Chodesh. Will you come back and report to me about the state of play there? With pleasure. Shlomo Zalman was a very wise man. But not only was he a wise man, but he understood the difference between humility and false humility. He was genuinely uncomfortable by being honored with these honorifics. But on the other hand, he knew the talents and abilities that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave him. If a person feels lowly and has a false humility about themselves, that is how others will perceive you. In Mitzvah Hashem, we should use our talents and abilities and capabilities to fulfill the Ratzon Hashem.